through the prayers, the training and the vitamins. Thus, it was no surprise when fans joked about Hulk Hogan's injectable vitamins, and while rumours circulated for years, it wasn't until the Hulkster appeared on the Arsenio Hall show to discuss the allegations. Now, this was around the time the WWF was under heavy scrutiny for its wrestlers' steroid use, claiming he'd only taken them once in his life.
But the things that I am not is I'm not a steroid abuser, and I do not use steroids.
Hogan took a sabbatical from the WWF, and when he returned in 1993, he was clearly less bulkier than fans were used to seeing, a transformation that astonished many WWF fans. The Hulkster has since stated he took steroids at various points in his career, but long before he admitted this, it was clear to some that the Hulkster got an official boost to his mega muscles. Number 2. The Ultimate Warrior. While many of the wrestlers on this list have denied using steroids or other PEDs, the Ultimate Warrior was a proponent of using it when used correctly. However, when he returned to the WWF in 1992 at WrestleMania 8, his leaner look and different hairstyle led to the bizarre claim that this was a different man portraying the Ultimate Warrior. The reality was likely due to the growing steroid scandal of the early 90s, as former doctor to the WWF superstars George Zahorian was indicted for the illegal sale of them. The Warrior would endorse the PED during his life, as seen in a 2007 interview with Fox News personality Sean Hannity. When you talk about roid rage for me is a pie-in-the-sky theory that's thought up by people who have no business discussing the frame of mind of an elite physical athlete. You're trying to say that taking steroids is bad? I don't think that it is. I'm all for personal freedom. I'm tired of having my intelligence insulted. Number 3. Ahmed Johnson. The WWF's first African-American Intercontinental Champion boasted the kind of physique that sends Vince McMahon into a state of ecstasy. But one story has it that Johnson's push would eventually see him crowned WWF Champion. While that remains a rumour, there's no arguing he was getting a serious push up the ladder.
Up until last week, I respected you.
However, there's no denying that at some point, Johnson's physique seemed to deflate as if someone had let the air out. Even worse when Johnson began gaining back his weight, with some fans noting that he's unrecognisable in his later years. Number 4. Triple H. Triple H has always maintained an impressive looking physique. There's no denying the cerebral assassin has worked hard in the gym. Nevertheless, his 2002 return from his quad injury saw him looking more impressive than ever, as his muscles seem to have muscles. Helmsley had reportedly been prescribed them to help recover from his first torn quad, and if so, he made the most of the situation. However, over time, the game seemed to lose mass, and at times even sported a bit of a gut. A rumour has it that Trips may have gone off the gas when he and Stephanie McMahon started a family. Through the years, Helmsley's physique has varied, it's still incredibly impressive. Nonetheless, there are fans and wrestlers who question how he maintains such a superhero-like frame. During his podcast, Conversations with the Big Guy, Ryback asserted, "Hunter, there's no way, and if he is, he'll do one as a publicity stunt. Hunter's whole career has been made on steroids. I grew up watching the guy. Without them, he doesn't exist in pro wrestling, and I grew up loving him as one of my favorites, and that's what it is. It is very biased what they do there and all that, but the policy in itself and of itself, I love it. I wish they had strict drug testing policies in all of wrestling." The WWE wellness policy has come under fire before, and as long as active competitors continue boasting phenomenal physiques, there will always be claims that wrestlers are on the gas. Number 5. Chris Masters. Chris Masters was a wrestler with an impressive physique who received a strong push as the masterpiece Chris Masters, a contemporary take on Lex Luger's short-lived narcissist character in the WWF. Masters challenged opponents to break out from his submission finisher, the Master Lock, a submission that Masters used to win many matches. In 2006, Masters took time off to undergo rehab, and when he returned, it was clear he'd lost much of his muscle mass. While the WWE announcers tried to spin Masters' new look as a leaner, meaner Chris Masters, Triple H wasn't so sympathetic. During a backstage segment involving D-Generation X, Masters and Eric Bischoff, Masters said he was going to write a book about nutrition, and Triple H couldn't resist and said,
"What are you gonna call it? How to lose 50 pounds in 4 weeks?
Masters was able to regain some of his muscle, which suggests he may have had some artificial help. Number 6. China. Wrestling's ninth wonder of the world was a big woman to begin with, but her alleged use of roids made her physique even more impressive. According to a report by Dr. Gabe Merkin, they affect women differently than men. When men take steroids, they develop exaggerated male characteristics, but when women take steroids, they develop characteristics that they would not normally have. Female athletes whose bodies naturally produce the largest amounts of male hormones are usually the strongest athletes. However, when women take higher doses of anabolic steroids, they can develop strength and muscle size that women cannot gain without the drug. Further evidence of China's past steroid abuse was seen in her autopsy, as according to a report at radaronline.com, during China's autopsy, the medical examiner identified nephrocirrhosis in both of her kidneys, a condition which can be caused by steroid abuse. Number 7. Lex Luger. Wrestling's total package may not have lived up to his nickname at times, but his incredible physique often made up for his moderate ring and microphone skills, with Luger holding the WCW World Championship as well as various tag team and singles belts several times. There's no doubt that Luger used medication to enhance his physique, as he discussed this in his memoir Wrestling with the Devil. Luger explains how he felt that steroids' benefits outweighed the risks, and that he later found HGH to be an even better way to maintain his physique. Unfortunately, in 2007, Luger suffered a nerve impingement in his neck that led to temporary paralysis. He also suffered a spinal stroke, which put Luger in a quadriplegic state, having no movement in either his arms or legs. However, in 2010, Luger stated in an interview that he was able to walk more comfortably and is now able to drive. Number 8. The Dynamite Kid. Despite extraordinary talent as a technical wrestler and high-flying performer, the Dynamite Kid, aka Tom Billington, felt he needed to put muscle on if he was going to succeed in the big man world of the WWF. Said muscles came in a bottle, and the talented performer claims he took steroids from doctors, from friends, and even steroids that were allegedly meant for horses. The Dynamite Kid's later years saw him suffer from a rash of health problems, confining him to a wheelchair and likely shortening his life. Billington would pass away in 2018 at the age of 60. He blamed some of his health problems on his steroid use, and looking at him after he stopped using them, fans can see just how much muscle mass they added to his small frame. Number 9. Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner's mind-blowing transformation from the bulky collegiate-style wrestler into the ripped Big Papa Pump is still talked about as one of wrestling's most marvelous metamorphoses. While Scott claimed to be wrestling's genetic freak, no one's gonna go out on a limb and say that it's likely he had some help from PEDs, either that or an opportune burst of gamma rays. While Steiner has managed to stay looking good, it's a safe bet he's not using PEDs, and if he is, it's infrequently, as he lost his chiseled definition he was famous for in the late 90s in WCW and his later run in the WWE. And number 10. Kurt Angle. Wrestling's Olympic hero likely didn't need PEDs to perform in the WWE, but as fans know, a more muscular body rarely hurts in the WWE, and Angle proved no exception. When he was caught up in the scandal reported by Sports Illustrated that revealed a so-called wellness center actually being a means of illegally distributing steroids, the WWE suspended him for a wellness policy violation. Angle protested, claiming he took the medication for a neck injury. In a 2009 interview with the Philadelphia Inquirer, he came clean when asked whether he'd ever taken them. Have I used steroids before? Yes, I have, after I broke my neck and lost 3 inches in this arm and 21 and 2 in the other form, loss of circulation. But I paid the price, both financially, I got fined $125,000, and reputation-wise. I was a pure athlete, an Olympic champion, and all of a sudden I'm like Kurt Angle the cheater. It really sucked. You can test me right now, I'll come up clean, but there was a time when I did it. Angle's muscle loss was evident, even if it wasn't as pronounced as some of the names on our list. Thankfully, Angle seems to have avoided some of the steroid-related issues that wrestlers on our list experienced. But there you have it guys, wrestlers who lost their physiques when they went off the juice. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.